stumped him! He stumped him! He stumped him! Nice block! Wow! Great penetration, surge through the middle of that. Michigan State first and goal. Touchdown! Yeah! Outstanding play.
About Michigan State, 10th in the country, 7-game win streak. Really, Gabe Brown has been the catalyst for the Spartans.
Well, I love that Gabe Brown is a guy who has stuck around his 4 years, played a role, and now in his senior season, it's time for him to play his best basketball, and he's doing just that.
Walker with a quick pull. In and out, but following it up. Max Christie.
That was big, and it's got the Spartan faithful on their feet.
Now to Christie, wide open for 3, top of the circle. He got it.
Now Hogard behind the back, dangerous, but somehow he made it all work.
Boy, that handle, impressive. A.J. Hogard coming off the long miss. Michigan State is just giving the ball away, putting their defense at such a disadvantage. You have got to take care of the basketball.
And Nebraska got a 1-point lead now, 21-20. 10:15 to go in the first half. Brown stops, pops from the elbow. That's his first 2.
Verge off balance. No. Hauser came flying through and deflected it to Brown. Brown fakes the pass, nails the 3.
Down the lane he goes, ball knocked away. Here comes Brown on the run behind the back dribble. Slam dunk!
Wow, nice play again by Gabe Brown. But it all started with Tyson Walker forcing that steal.
The energy level in this building at the Breslin Center's picked up here in the last couple of minutes. Back inside, Marble. Well, they are moving that basketball. And it all ends in a Walker triple.
Christie. Oh, he is wide open for 3, and he got it!
The third three-pointer to go down this half by the Spartans.
Kind of in that spot where Michigan State trying to get this to double digits. And they will with authority. Finding Hall, he'll take it wide open, yes.
Michigan State stays atop of the Big Ten standings with a 4-0 mark. The final from East Lansing, Michigan State 79, Nebraska 67.
Good evening. Welcome to Inside the Locker Room. I'm your host, Jason Strayhorn, with my co-host over there, Brian Mosallam. Busy on his phone, checking out updates, getting by-the-minute updates on what's going on from all of his sources, league sources, NCAA resources, all kinds of things. How you doing, Brian?
Fantastic, but why have you taken over starting the show?
I mean, because you're not paying attention.
I'm paying attention.
No. I mean,
I am
rewind the tape. You are not paying attention. So
I am paying.
I just take the liberty to do what I got to do. So let's roll, Brian.
It's called leadership. It's absolutely called leadership.
That's exactly right.
No
Captain, my captain.
No question about it. Last big win, MSU basketball beats Nebraska.
Oh, aren't they playing now?
No, that was last week.
No. Michigan State basketball is playing right now.
No, Wednesday, Minnesota.
Okay, we're coming up.
No, we're because
tomorrow
we had a COVID cancellation that we'll get into later. We beat Nebraska. Our last game was beat Nebraska.
Oh,
yeah.
That's. I'm still itching for that one.
I'm smarting from that, quite frankly.
You are?
Yeah. Just
get well soon.
Feelings were hurt.
Let's go.
But we went into Nebraska came into East Lansing. We took care of business. Took care of business as we're supposed to. Do we have any highlights of that game? I think we got the MSU Twitter video. So they came to the Breslin last week, and we, had a rough start at the beginning, but able to pull away. You're starting to see this team gel. You're starting to see play some defense, rebound. Tyson Walker beginning to get control of the offense. Joey Hauser getting his confidence back, and we were able to. They came into the Breslin, which, as Peach James said, is a sneaky good Nebraska team. lot better than their record indicated at the time. They were 6-9, and we played them. You know, Nebraska always plays us tough. And
why is that?
They do. They play us tough. They were always well coached, but we were able to pull away at the end, get the W at the Breslin, and now we're heading. We're 10-2, 10-2, with Minnesota on the horizon, and we're a little bit excited about that. We got everybody. You got Joey Hauser playing. You got Gabe Brown playing lights out. You have Tyson Walker, like we said earlier, learning the offense. You have a lot of pieces coming together earlier than expected, quite frankly. When you look at the Big Ten as a whole, I would say right now Michigan State is – and listen, winning breeds confidence. When you win, it breeds confidence. And if you see a coach is presser, nothing's ever good enough, and nothing ever was perfect, or nothing ever that he's quite frankly happy about, which is why he's got 8 banners hanging in the rafters, is because he's never satisfied. And that maniacal nature of Coach Izzo and the way that he handles those pressers in each game is something to behold, huh, Jason?
I mean, what about Max Christie, man? Big Ten Freshman of the Year. This is like his 19th time being Big Ten Freshman of the Week.
Seventh.
You know, but that kid
Second.
right there, 17th. Anyway, like, this guy is a dynamic player, and this is the guy we talked about on our show before. He has the pedigree. His mother played at Northwestern. She was a big-time women's basketball player at Northwestern, and he's just continuing on. I mean, he's just a phenomenal addition to the Michigan State basketball program, along with Gabe Watson/Brown, as you call him affectionately, and Joey House.
Out of Southfield High School.
Out of South. These guys are doing what they need to do.
Arizona Cardinals.
Doing exactly what they need to do to gel. I mean, this is a process. And we all know that Izzo has a process, very similar to what, the old ball coach down in Tuscaloosa does. They're very close, by the way, if you guys didn't know that. And
they are very close.
They are very, very close. But that process leads into what's that, March Madness, January, February Izzo Madness, March Madness, which is coming up in a heartbeat. You know
what's funny? I was reading a tweet from Matt Sheehan, NIL podcast, who said, how do you feel during MSU basketball and football games? And he had actually a very good point. He said that every Saturday, the way that I feel during a game is the way I feel during March for basketball. So it is. There's a difference, right? I mean, because the tournament has become really the focus of the season, win, lose, or draw, and that every Saturday is you're hanging on the limb of every play, which is very similar to March Madness, which I thought was a great analogy. So Matt, hats off to you. Absolutely, totally agree with you. So now we head into tomorrow at the Breslin, right?
Tomorrow.
Minnesota comes back in 10-3 off of a December 8th loss to Michigan State University. We walked into the barn, right? It's called the barn. Walked into the barn.
That high court.
On December 8th.
Sitting on that sideline, the court's at your eye level.
There is no sport in all of athletics where home court matters more than college basketball, where they sit on top of you. And walking into the barn and winning that game on December 8th really was a huge confidence boost. And when you look back at the stats, you look back at the game now that Minnesota's coming back in, and you talk about the keys to the game tomorrow, which are something that are very crucial. And a lot of you that believe that we're all football guys and don't understand basketball, we do. We do absolutely understand. I mean, in Minnesota, Michigan State shot over 47% 3-point range. I think some of the keys tomorrow are you have to contain. Number one, you got to decrease the turnovers. I mean, if we're able to decrease turnovers and to manage the ball going forward, I think is going to be crucial for us. As our guards get acclimated, but the silly turnovers drives Coach Izzo crazy.
I mean, you're going to have to do something with these three prolific scorers from Minnesota. You're talking about that Jamison Battle, who leads the team. He's got 18. He's averaging 18.2 points a game. That's a phenomenal player. Then you have Peyton Willis, and then E.J. Stevenson, a guy who also is in the double digits at 10.8. Peyton Willis is 12th in the Big Ten, second on the roster at Minnesota for 15.9 points per game. They got some guys who can definitely fill up the hoop, and Michigan State's got their work cut out for them. And I think that, players like Bingham, you see him right there, with his length and presence, his ability.
Boy, he's really stepped up this year.
He is stepping up. We really like what he's doing in the game.
But he's really matured and grown, and he's become you're really that force inside that's been able to put some points in and be able to be, kind of that around that cylinder, be able to protect the cylinder.
Without question.
Yeah, and he's put some meat on too. How much weight you think he's gained?
Oh man, he's since he got to East Lansing.
No, that's like 89 pounds. I'm talking about the last year.
The last year, probably a good 30.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
good.
He's got a long way to go with that thing. He's 7 feet, 6'11.9. I mean, he's a big boy.
You look at Gabe Brown. Gabe Brown is really, he's become this really explosive, alpha leader, and these are the kind of teams that excel under Coach Izzo. When you have the older guys begin to step up and take charge, right? I mean, Coach always talks about his best teams are the player-led teams, and you have to give, you're talking Gabe Brown, who's beginning to lead this team, who is leading this team, and what they're doing. Are they better than we thought right now, Jason? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Take your hat off. Take your Spartan hat off.
Absolutely. Like the whole country is looking at Michigan State right now, basketball-wise, and saying, we didn't know this was going to happen because there was a lot of unknowns with this team. You had Gabe Brown. You had, a lot
Gabe
of freshmen.
Watson or Gabe Brown?
It's Brown.
Okay.
Just so you know. What can Brown do for you? He can do a lot when he's wearing green and white. So Gabe Brown, Marcus Bingham Jr., well, these guys are doing a phenomenal job of picking up the slack. But it's the freshmen, like I said, Max Christie. Like these guys, Walker, the transfer, 2 transfers named Walker wearing the green and white, doing a phenomenal job. One's going on to the NFL. The other one is getting ready to make his name and his presence felt in the March Madness.
Herschel?
No, not Herschel Walker. Baby.
Which Walker?
Tyson.
Who's going to the NFL, though?
That would be K9.
Oh, the
Kenneth
Dope Walker.
The Dope Walker.
Walter Camp winner.
There he is.
I got it.
Heisman snubbed Walker. That guy.
Heisman snub.
Right, forever Heisman snubbed. And we ain't going to forget that.
Hey, Chief Propaganda, you like my pullover? I saw your tweet right here. Got a nice shirt for you, a nice pullover for you.
Beautiful. And, that is a small, by the way.
You called our competitor down the road.
It's baggy.
What'd you call him? A Kyle Vandenbosch clone? Is that what you call him?
Kyle Vandenbosch?
It's good.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Oh no, top 10 draft pick.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute now. We got to compare apples to apples. We talk about that. I wish we had the tape, but I saw the tape of the left tackle for Georgia blocking the Heisman Trophy guy, Aiden Hutchinson, the guy down the road, and then I saw Will Anderson from Alabama last night.
How about that speed last night, boy?
Oh my God!
My Lord.
Hey.
Lord, that speed. You saw them.
This is the thing, the guys.
Have you ever seen
the scouts? They're gonna see that tape.
Have you ever seen defensive ends run down quarterbacks?
We're gonna see how hard it goes.
You see them? Hey,
Didn't I say that about Aiden?
Oh.
How hard is he going to go? He better take that stance, because if he don't take that stance that he wasn't going hard, he'll lose a lot of money.
That
man.
closing speed last night, right? When you're watching the holes and those abilities on those 2-point conversions, both for Alabama and for Georgia, to get caught on the outside by the
Them boys
defensive end.
getting
I'm
out. Soon as Bryce got outside the
oh,
pocket,
that
it was
defensive
like
end caught him.
I don't know if I've ever since the tapes of Lawrence Taylor.
Tapes don't lie.
When he had that nasal thing in his jockstrap playing, and we going out here like a bunch of crazed dogs. You remember that guy? Since that day, I haven't seen anybody have the closing speed of a linebacker on a quarterback like we saw last night with Georgia against Alabama. It was unbelievable. Guess what? Let me just slow it down for a minute.
How many first rounders were playing last night?
Oh, Jesus. You mean ultimately?
Yeah.
When they all go out?
Yeah.
I mean, we probably saw
honestly,
no bull jive. 22 first rounders.
Nah. I'd say 12 to 15.
When it's all man, listen. When it's all said and done, offensive line, defensive line, running back.
I'm not sure what bull jive means, but all right, go ahead.
This 3 years now. And we had a couple freshmen playing that shouldn't have been in the game that will ultimately be first round. You watch what I tell you.
Wow.
Watch what I tell you.
Listen, we've been watching college football a long time. Last night there was a lot of speed. The velocity. The way the holes closed, quite impressive. Let's get back to basketball, though. Let's get back to the basketball throw. So we take on, tomorrow we got to decrease the turnovers. We got to hold Jamison Battle, who's obviously leading the team with 18.2 points per game.
But we going to the other game, man.
Hold on. We need to replicate what we did in the first game. We won the boards 44 to 29. We need the similar type production on the boards. And then the Izzone. Mask, wearing your mask. You need to step up tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big game. Minnesota always plays us tough. So we fully expect a hostile environment tomorrow night in the Breslin.
You going to that game?
Am I? Am I going to that game?
Are you going?
What's tomorrow? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
I wish I could. I would give anything to be there.
You can go.
I would love to be there.
You can do whatever you want to do.
Listen.
Do you want to go?
I would love to be there. We got an early flight out Thursday morning. I would love to be there. It's going to be a great game. Absolutely.
Jet setting son of a gun.
I don't know. I'm working. I'm absolutely working.
Jet setting son of a gun.
So,
but talk about this game that was postponed.
Which one?
Like the Michigan State game, not that game with Paul Bunyan I'm pointing to right there, but the game that was postponed in basketball due to some unfortunate news.
I got pummeled for that. My feelings were hurt on Twitter, and I expect some apologies. But before we get into that tweet, let me talk about the timeline of this. Michigan, and Brendan Quinn did a good job of reporting this on The Athletic. He was about 92% right. There was a they shoot around at about the University of Michigan had a shoot around at about 3:30, and then there were some reports that they were not done till about 6 p.m. MSU arrived at 5:30, got done around 7:30, shooting around. Coach wasn't informed till about 10:45 at night that they did not have enough scholarship players to play.
Coach who?
Coach Izzo. In the next day.
Okay, so wait a minute.
It's a little murky if redshirt.
Coach wasn't informed. Like there was another coach.
Yeah, Juwan Howard the Duck. Juwan Howard was the coach that should have known that coming out of practice. So I think that's the issue, right? I mean, he was he informed coach at about 10:45 at night after our shoot around that they did not have enough players. Big Ten weigh-in game was postponed. And the question isn't about, I mean, there was a tweet out there we'll get into later, but the question isn't about, were they ducking? Were they doing this? No. The question was
what is
about
ducking?
About communication, right? Why would the Michigan State University have to go to Ann Arbor and be told at 10:45 at night that the game cannot be played the next day? That game, if you're going to test for COVID, some could say that the testing could have been done a lot earlier, and we would have known that before showing there. So I think really when this boils down, it was more about communication than anything, and.
Is that what we're rating? It's all about communication, huh?
It is about communication.
Okay, so the supply chain or whatever the hell, it just didn't get through the wire, the phone line, the telephone
Listen,
game.
it boils down to communication. There are protocols, there are rules, there are Big Ten verifying everything.
So that's where your tweet came from.
Whoever thinks U of M ducked this game, it's as much as we all Spartans want to joke and laugh and tweet about it. That's not the case.
Okay.
That's not the case.
Okay.
The question is why were we informed at 10:45 at night? We could have tested earlier in the day, and we could have been told, don't waste your time coming down there. That they warmed up, we warmed up, we took our team down there, and if we could have been informed a little bit earlier, that would have really been grateful. So it was more of a communication. I think Justin Spiro hit it when he talked about it. It was a communication issue. It wasn't a ducking issue. And that's really, I think, a lot of the gripe of the Spartans. Now Twitter and social media and everybody went crazy and, called
I don't think one soul on this planet believes that you were inferring something about some communication when you said what you said on Twitter.
I think I'm someone.
No, bring up the tweet.
I am misunderstood.
It says Brian Mosallam. They have the worst luck over there down the road at the most inopportune times when it comes to
grammar. Inopportune's one word. Go ahead.
Inopportune times when it comes to playing high-profile opponents. A safe and speedy recovery to all. What were you inferring there?
Genuine concern.
No, hold on. No.
Genuine concern, and then I got accosted on Twitter.
When you said most and this and that, look at this. What an ass dipshit. You're stupid. Kids are sick. Most schools don't ignore like you ignore abusive athletes. I guess trustees don't care.
Boy.
Woo!
That was offensive.
Man, attractors.
You're an
embarrassment. Pretty pathetic. It's about the dumbest post I've ever read. There are a lot of dumb tweets out there. And you are the dumbest, is what he was inferring, since we're talking about inference. What say you, Brian? How about that?
I guess you can't show genuine concern for your rival. I mean, I guess you cannot make a comment without a bunch of,
Man,
quite
this
frankly,
is shameful.
My feelings are hurt.
Just say what it is.
My feelings are hurt. Insecurity doesn't win the day. You don't win wars on Twitter. All right? I mean, I made a simple comment, and everything that I said was factual. There's nothing that I said was not factual. And I was accosted.
The point has nothing to do with communication. The point was there's a lot of people that were mad because there was no way Michigan had a chance. The University of Michigan, the guys down the road, had a chance of beating Michigan State on that day. That was the fact of the matter, Brian, and you knew that. Everyone knew that, including Juwan Howard, the Duck.
Well, the irony in all this is that I got text all weeks from the message boards saying Michigan was going to cancel because of COVID. Michigan was going to cancel because of COVID. And, are these Spartan conspiracy theorists or were they legitimate, sources talking? Who knows? I mean, who knows? They played Rutgers and they played them. They were shorthanded. Let's just be honest. But everybody all over the place kept calling and texting and saying that they're going to cancel. They're going to cancel. They're going to cancel the Michigan State game, cancel the Purdue game. And look, COVID's real. It's not a joke. All right. The safety of our young men, whatever school you're at, is very, very important. No matter what. We can go back and forth and we can joke and we can sit there and, call everybody all kinds of, joking names and that's fun. The Twitter stuff is fun. But, the message boards all week, that's all they were talking about. And, part of that is the fun part.
You're convincing. You are very convincing.
I mean, I just think COVID's not a joke.
It is not.
No, it's not a joke.
But I believe you. And I don't believe you.
Listen, here's my point. You don't tell a guy hanging 8 banners, a dozen Big Ten championships, who drove his team down there. You don't tell him at 10:45 at night, we can't play you. You just don't do that. If you're going to play Michigan State University and you're going to play them in basketball, you should know a lot earlier than 10:45 at night. That's the bottom line. Whoever's positive or not, the communication failed. And that's the bottom line. I mean, there's no other explanation for that.
It is absolutely within their right to make sure that or not care about Michigan State's blue balls.
You just don't drag a team down there and you have them warm up. We got there at 5:30. We're done warming up by 7:30. They warmed up. They were done by some accounts 3:30, some accounts 6 o'clock. You should know by then if you cannot play that game. You should actually, quite frankly, know that earlier. And if you can't play the game, I think it's important that message is relayed so we're not wasting our time. Other universities are not wasting their time. And I mean, those are fair comments. Those are not an indictment on the program, the other university, not taking swipes at the other university. Really, that's time is a commodity. It's about saving everybody's time. And so that answer should have been delivered a lot earlier than 10:45 p.m. Would you agree or disagree?
So if they would have delivered the message earlier, you would be happy that they didn't play the game.
I think if that message was delivered before we got down there and drove down there, I think yes. I think that would give more credence to it, or credence might not be the right word.
When you say this, let's go back to the tweet. They have the worst luck over there down the road at the most inopportune times when it comes to playing high profile. What do you mean, the most inopportune times when it comes to playing high profile opponents? Brian, what say you? That had nothing to do with communication. You were inferring about more than one occasion. Right or wrong?
I mean, they were playing Ohio State in football.
Oh, that's
super bad luck.
Bad luck?
Couldn't play the game. Western Michigan in hockey, top 10 program, couldn't play the game. Michigan State, basketball, number 9 in the country, couldn't play the game. This Tuesday, Purdue's ranked 3rd in the country, can't play the game. I would call that bad luck. Why are you laughing? COVID's a serious matter. Why are you laughing?
Man.
I've been lambasted and accosted. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing at my family's pain?
That's not your family. Family.
That's Brian Kelly. Family.
Family.
Yeah.
That's that South Bend.
Yeah. That's that 9.5 million south of the Mason-Dixie line accent. Family. That's different. But why are you? I mean,
what are you're saying they have the worst luck?
I'm speaking
that is
facts.
Great. If that's your family, it's great luck, right? That's what I'm saying. You can't have it both ways, man. If it's your family, you want them to win or no contest or whatever it is. But what we're experiencing, what you're saying here is that Michigan has been able to duck losses, L's.
Whoa.
They've been finding a way to get rid of them
Whoa.
L's, them hot ones.
Whoa.
Because
Whoa.
of what that's why you're getting the asshole, stupid, you're this
left.
and that, dipshit. That's what that's about, man.
This ain't Chris Webber. I got 2 left. Don't start that. Don't. You know,
I didn't
because
start nothing.
I got enough trouble.
I didn't start nothing. You wrote that. These are your words.
What am I saying that's not factual?
No, man. Listen.
What am I saying that's not factual?
They got the worst luck.
Now you're
and
attacking
the most
me.
inopportune.
You're attacking me
I just
now.
want you to stand behind your words.
You're attacking.
I just want you to stand.
I stand behind my words.
I just want you to stand behind your words. You type.
You're attacking me.
You tweeted.
Your microaggressions.
Tweet.
Your microaggressions.
Stand there.
I'm uncomfortable right now.
Stand in the fire.
I am uncomfortable right now.
Stand in the fire.
Why are you attacking me?
I ain't attacking nobody.
My tweet. What about my tweet was not factual?
I mean, listen. Everybody else attacked you. Dude number, Eagles, Real Off Crush, Rafael Casanova, Dirt McGirt, Hugo Weaving, Erica, M Go Blue. Those are the people who attacked you, not me.
Fortson bitch boy hurts my feelings.
Yes, yeah. Why did he say that, Brian? Why?
I have no idea. I tweeted something that was factual. I have no idea.
And he wonders why. I don't know. I don't know what to say. He wonders why. Like he really doesn't understand. He doesn't understand.
Wait a minute. I rattled off Ohio State. I rattled off Western Michigan in hockey. Ohio.
Most inopportune time.
Michigan State in basketball. Purdue in basketball. Who's got worse luck than they do? Tell me.
That seems like great luck. If I'm a Wolverine, that's good luck, man.
You know what? You're supposed to be my co-host.
That's good luck.
Not my adversary.
We don't have to take them hot L's.
I'm leaving.
That's what you're saying.
You're my adversary right now.
They don't have to take the hot L's. They can ride off into the sunset with no contest or,
the inference. One thing about texting and tweeting is you can't detect sarcasm. You can't detect truth, inference, this, that. And you know what?
And in
you're
color,
just as guilty.
You can't see it. You can't even see it right here. I mean, your tweet has more inference, tone, action in it than what you're trying to pull on us right now.
I'm being attacked by my own colleague.
I mean, it's crazy.
This is attack.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what.
I'm not comfortable right now.
I think they were the best. They've had the worst luck ever. Nobody believes that.
I don't talk that way either.
Nobody believes that.
You're attacking me.
Nobody believes that.
You know what?
I mean, you gonna sit up there and tell me?
I'm not
you
doing
gonna
this.
sit there with that Spartan on your chest right there?
You want me to leave?
You gonna sit there with that Spartan on your chest and gonna tell everybody, no, hey, I don't believe that. This is crazy.
You want me to leave?
Ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous.
It's crazy. You know what? I'm gonna.
Nobody got wheels on it today. You got wheels. You better be careful.
For the sake of the 13 viewers, I'm coming back.
1,300. Ain't climbing.
I'm coming back.
Climbing.
But really, listen. In all seriousness, the Michigan game was miscommunication. Probably should have been communicated better. We're gonna get them back on the schedule, hopefully. And I can't wait till January 29th.
Till when?
28th or 29th?
9th.
Yeah.
129.
Yeah. Yep. It's all coming. It's a new hashtag. It's all coming. Yep. That's it. It's all coming. Let's switch gears here to a different topic that it's kind of irritating, quite frankly. You want to throw that up, Alex? You know, I don't know if you have the actual. Yeah, you know, he was on an AMA panel. Desmond was, and he was asked by, I believe, I don't know if it was a Reddit reporter or some reporter talked about, you know, former coach Bo Schembechler recently tied to Dr. Robert Anderson for sexually abusing over 2,100 patients during his 40-year career. And how come he hasn't been more vocal about using his platform, handling sexual abuse, including holding persons accountable for their actions and demanding justice for victims? You know, and this was a fair question, right? And the way Desmond answered that, considering everything, you know, that I saw, witnessed, been part of, was it was very shocking to me, quite frankly. Desmond's response was, mind you, it's on an ESPN platform. I use my platform for issues that I believe in with great certainty. I happen to be on the side of the fence that believes Coach Schembechler's biological son, who said that he did not enable Dr. Anderson. I appreciate your question. You can believe what you choose to believe, and I'll believe what I previously expressed. First, let me say this. When the Dr. Anderson abuse came to light, I was the first trustee to call other trustees at the University of Michigan. We go back and forth and joke about, you know, rivalry games, stuff like that. But this is serious, a very, very serious matter. And something when it comes to, you know, as it relates to trustees, I take very seriously. I'm sorry, survivors, I take very seriously. So I called several of the regents over there and said, hey, don't make the same mistakes we made. Reach out to these survivors, talk to them, and listen to them, humanize them, and put together a plan of reform, and don't make the same mistakes that we made as a university, because this is something that, you know, that became very near and dear to my heart. And when I read Desmond's response, I was stunned. I was absolutely shocked. Tone deaf, clueless, disgusted, you know, were some of the responses, some of the thoughts that came to my head, because I lived it, seen it. And look, MSU deserves, absolutely, we handled the whole thing poorly, completely wrong. And I was very clear about that, about my position with survivors, that we believe every survivor. And I could never understand what they've been through, but after getting to know many of them and spending many hours and months with them, their mind frame and thought process, I was shocked that Desmond didn't express any words of empathy, that didn't, you know, just at least address John Vaughn, his former teammate, I believe, address the 2,100 survivors of sexual abuse. And look, this is not an indictment on the University of Michigan. We're not here to, this is not a joke. It's not something to attack our rival. This is serious stuff.
Right.
This is really ESPN's response. When you look at the way they responded to MSU situation, and then you look at, this is one of their employees and their response, and allowing him to respond that way or not reprimanding him for that.
Well, lack thereof.
Lack thereof. I was shocked. I was absolutely stunned. And I think, you know, there are, you know, Spartans talk about this blue wall. And there should never be a blue wall, a green wall, any kind of wall when it comes to survivors. Survivors need to be believed, quite frankly. And when 2,100 come forward, and you have John Vaughn, who was a great running back, sitting outside the president's house for how many days? Desmond's response to me was very tone deaf, It was insensitive and, quite frankly, disgusting, to be honest with you. But my beef really isn't with him as much as it is with ESPN, is that you guys allowed this. You guys allowed this, giving the sensitivity, the nature of the sensitivity to this and the nature of how sensitive this can be, that you guys allowed this. And I was absolutely stunned at his response and lack thereof from ESPN. I don't know, Jason. I don't know how you feel about that. And I mean, I feel like the survivors, and this is not about the university, not at all. But I feel like because Anderson's dead, because the survivors are male, I hate to say this, I feel like there's not as much attention put to this. But really my anger is towards ESPN, is more that you're not bringing as much light to this as you should on behalf of the survivors, as you did when it came to MSU. And you have one of your employees out there saying these type of things, and there's absolutely no repercussions. And I'm sorry, I lived through it. I know many of these survivors. I went and I've met with them, and the respect and their courage and understanding and trying to understand what they've been through and where they've come from. For Desmond to say this, and for the ESPN to not do anything or say anything in comparing their response to what happened to MSU, forget about MSU or U of M. That's not the point. The point is that if you care about survivors, ESPN, all right, if you care about survivors as much as you claimed you did when MSU was on, and we deserved a lot of that. Don't get me wrong. MSU handled the whole situation poorly. MSU was tone deaf. The board was. There were a lot of things that MSU did wrong. Quite frankly, going forward, a lot of things that the University of Michigan did right that we didn't do. But for ESPN to ignore this and to ignore Desmond's response is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Because I lived it. I've seen it. I saw what happened. I was inside those boardrooms. I saw what was printed, what was written. And now you have an employee of yours who's basically calling, who's discrediting survivors. And is it because they're male? Is it because Anderson's dead? And it's an indictment on ESPN, not U of M. There's a lot of good people at U of M who are trying to do the right thing. I'm shocked at the response. Absolutely stunned by the response. I don't know, Jason. I don't know how you feel about this at all.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's a deplorable act. I mean, I get it. I understand it. It's a travesty that a company or institution as large as ESPN would not weigh in or not have anything to say about something as heinous as the crimes that were committed by, or what was alleged to be committed by Dr. Anderson, comparative to what we saw in the situation that happened at Michigan State, which you were very close to.
It wasn't alleged. It happened.
Yeah. So that's a big deal. You know, and if you have,
and many former players came out and said that Bo knew, but that's a whole other discussion, right? I mean, John Vaughn, I believe, was your teammate, and like, come on, man, this is real stuff. This isn't football. This isn't about protecting a statue or a legacy. There were people hurt that were courageous enough to come forward. Come on, Desmond. I would expect you to be better than that, than a toe the company line. I did not toe the company line, and I took a lot of heat for that. But
still are,
and that's fine. That's fine because the truth is the truth. But for you to come out and say that when you have former teammates coming out and saying some of the things that they said, when you have former his adopted son saying that, I'm shocked that ESPN would allow that. But are we shocked?
I mean, it just speaks to what ESPN is, man. Listen, no, I'm not. Not as much as there's always that human aspect that says, why would they? But we know why. Come on now.
Look, one thing.
Aiden Hutchinson went to the Heisman. Kenneth Walker didn't, and that's the microcosm of something like this, which is real life. That's a football field. This is real life. What you're talking about right now.
One thing that I learned is survivors don't lie. It musters up a ton of courage to come out and talk about what happened to them. And, imagine being a male football player, and not to discredit any females because they're, in my mind, 100 times more courageous. But to come out and talk about, a quote-unquote legend and saying that he knew, like, that there's got to be, there's got to be some humanality to that. And Desmond's comments of towing the company line and really, quite frankly, ESPN allowing that and not reprimanding him for being tone deaf. I mean, Desmond, you could at least have said, hey, to the survivors, we empathize, we feel for everything that you've been through. We want you to heal. I mean, something, but I mean, his response was so cold, terse, tone deaf. If the
roles were reversed, what would it have been like?
I'm not, we all saw the tsunami that happened in East Lansing, and many.
It's a NASA scandal.
Yeah.
So we don't have to think about it.
Much of that was deserved. I mean, much of that was deserved. But if the roles were reversed, you and I both know what would have happened. I mean, we would have. But this falls on ESPN. If you're gonna
subject matter, man. Really,
listen,
really tough.
Survivors deserve this subject brought to light. I don't care at what university, and I don't care what gender they are. I don't care what sport they played. I don't care if the doctor is alive or not. And ESPN has not done the survivors of Robert Anderson any justice, quite frankly. They have not. Because forget the publicity, lack thereof, that Michigan has. This is about the survivors. And ESPN has not done the survivors of Robert Anderson justice. It's that simple. That simple.
All right. With heavy hearts, we move on.
We do move on. We move on to some good news, better news this week with Reed, Horst.
A couple people staying in East Lansing. Roll the tape.
How happy can we be?
Number one is back. The playmaker. Look at him roll.
Take the top off the defense. Jaden Reed.
Return kicks.
Jaden Reed, Jared Horst. And
but the chemistry, I mean, you want to just go through all of them before we even get through them all. Like, typical. Let's talk about this. Jaden Reed.
No, let's talk about me. That's typical.
Talk about you, too.
That's typical.
Let's go through Jaden Reed, who has phenomenal chemistry with one.
Peyton Thorne.
There we go. I know you had it in you.
We might see another combo down the future, though, but go ahead.
Jaden Reed is coming back for his senior season. One more time. Let's run it back in East Lansing. Big news for the Spartans. And what do you think this bodes for Michigan State in the 2022 football season?
I think it's important because he's able to take the top off the defense. I think he's able. He's obviously very explosive, and when you're explosive on the outside, you got a quarterback that can throw the ball over the top, and that is a big get. That's a big keep. When we talk about recruiting all the time, we forget to mention that we're also recruiting our current players to stay, and this really speaks more to the culture that Mel Tucker's building than anything, that he wants to stay and play one more year for Coach Tuck. So this is more of a compliment to Coach Tuck and the program that he's building than anything else.
Moving on, we got Big X. The X-Man's coming back.
We do
Xavier Henderson.
Tremendous leader back there, able to stabilize the defense. Somebody that we sorely need back there, and
Nice pick.
His presser after the U of M game was one for the ages, wasn't it?
What you say now, huh?
Yeah, no.
What they talking about now, huh?
X coming back is a huge. Again, I go back to recruiting. You're not only recruiting future stars, you're recruiting current players to stay on your team. And, X staying, I believe, is another example of the culture that Coach Tucker's building. So I know Coach and the staff are excited to keep X here. Extremely excited. Great
Spartan
leader.
Nation is super happy
Great leader.
to keep those young men.
Can
And then
come up,
also,
play the run.
big fella, number 79.
Horst,
The Horst on the left side
my kid.
of that offensive
My
line.
boy, I'm gonna call you, son. I'm taking you under my wing. I tweeted at you. Look at you and I gotta have a talk. That's my boy right here.
Yeah, big boy.
Love them offensive linemen. Love them nasty linemen that play through the echo of the whistle and that play tough, nasty. And if you're gonna play like the way you play. Can't teach that. Love that.
Nasty streak. I think that's a smart move for him to come back one more season. Improve his draft stock. He's got the size, he's got the ability, got the nastiness. Limit those penalties. Just don't limit the nasty.
No. But if every once in a while we need a penalty,
Take that kind. That's an aggressive penalty.
we'll take that. We'll take
for
that.
sure.
Out of all of them, I'm telling you that I am super excited that Horst is coming back because, when you watch the tape on him and you watch the way he's able to, the way he plays after the whistle, the way he just plays through the whistle. I guess I just said it, the echo of the whistle. As a former offensive lineman, that gets you excited. You like to see that, don't you?
We'd love to see it. Let's talk about the new recruits, too, now. We got a flip. Mel was able to flip one.
Shocker.
Oh, boy.
I got a feeling Mel's going to be able to flip a few more than just one over the years. Huh? Germie Bernard already enrolled at the university.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
Makes MSU the number 17th ranked class in the country.
Man, bumped up 4 spots after losing Armani.
Winfield?
Yeah, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
They got
Germie
him with
Bernard.
Baylor. We got this one.
Played a couple years, I believe, in high
A
school.
little
with
faster.
Caden
More of a
Hauser.
playmaker.
Yeah,
This is the one we wanted.
It's the one we wanted.
Caden Hauser's the guy. That
Caden was very influential in bringing him over here. So kudos to Caden. So,
Caden Saeed.
oh yeah,
Mel.
Saeed Khalif. Yep, Mel,
Oh.
absolutely, no question about it.
They made it happen.
They sure did. I
Got
got
a playmaker. He was able to get out of his national letter of intent with Washington, right? He was able to break that in order to sign with Michigan State. There was no question. He was focused on playing with Caden Hauser, the big-time quarterback out of St. John Bosco over in the OC, Orange County, California. Man,
I got a feeling we're going to see
national recruits, man.
we're going to see a very similar path between him and Caden Hauser as we have Reed and Thorne over the years.
I like that.
I do.
Peyton and Reed, they've been playing since they was yay high, though. They was youngins. These guys, I think they met in some camps. We'll find out the backstory. But definitely very close, and we love to see that.
Love that expression, take the top off the defense.
And he could definitely
Between
do it.
Germie and Antonio Gates from my high school.
The Tractors of
Fortson High School. We're going to be taking a lot of tops off the defenses. So we're excited. We're pumped up.
Looking forward to it.
We are looking forward to it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. Can I take back over?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. I am your co-host, Brian Mosallam, along with my co-host, Jason Strayhorn. Good night and go green.
God bless.
He stumped him. Nice block. Wow! Great penetration, surge through the middle of that. Michigan State first and goal.
Touchdown!
Yeah!